So yeah, hi guys. Really nice to see you all this evening. So we just wanted to spend some time and show you a little bit about what we've been up to in March, what we've got coming forward in April, some exciting news and developments as well to keep you guys posted. Also looking forward to hearing your feedback about how you'd like to see us move forward in the future. So to start things off, we're going to hand over to Ethan. He's going to talk us through a little bit about the Doc Hub, some of the changes there, and then also look at our new Work Hub feature, which is a really exciting tool. So Ethan, over to you.
So I'm going to show everyone the new Doc Hub user interface. So we're trying to improve the visuals across the application at the moment to make it as user-friendly as possible. So for those that aren't familiar, this is the homepage of the Doc library. We've got the tiles at the top that highlight some key important things that will be coming to your document management system. So any new files that have been uploaded, you can click and view those files, and the same with any reviews that you've got due and coming up as well. One of the best things that we've improved recently is when you go to a document area, the way that you can manage and control that area. So we'll just show you an example. If you look at the management folder, when you go into an area, so these are the top level areas for a group of documents, and you go into the settings, we've got 3 tabs. So we've got user access, user roles, and area controls. So in order to control access to the area itself, it's really simple. You've got the names of the people who have access down here, and you could also add a group of people that need access to it as well if you wanted to. And the access settings are view only, standard, and full access. If there's anyone with a view only and it's grayed out, it means that they are a free user and they're not a paid license, so they are stuck with the view only. So if you now want to control what people are able to do within the area, so for example, can a user review and approve, you go to the area roles page, and this will include all of the users who have access to the area that are a standard account. So these will only be paid users. So it's really simple, just by changing the tick box and picking who can review and approve documents. So in this case, we want all of these 3 people to be able to do everything. The latest feature that we've added after a few requests and feedback from our customers is the ability to add upload rules. In the area controls, in upload rules, when you switch it on, you have 2 options to choose from. You can preset who will review and approve the uploaded documents, or you can allow the user who is uploading the documents to pick who they want to review and approve. In this example, we'll stick to presetting it. You simply click the review box, pick who you want to be responsible for reviewing the documents, and then you can choose who should approve it as well. We've got a document retention setting in here as well. So when you archive anything from this document, you can set the time period in which it will be kept on the system for, and when that time expires, it will instantly be deleted from our database. Just to give you an example of what this looks like when it comes to using this document upload rule. So we'll go to doc areas. If someone would go to the management folder, upload a document. So let's say we add an agenda document. We make it a controlled file and click done. So you can see we now have a button to click to add pre-approval setup. We can pick the start version. So let's say the document currently exists. So we're going to upload it and we want it to go straight to version 10. We'll turn review settings off for this example, and we'll just save these settings. So straight away, the document goes into the review process, and we can see the 2 people who have automatically been tasked to review the document will have tasks in their inbox that we can see are currently pending, and we can close that down as well. So that's just a few of the things in terms of being able to control access to the doc library, but the UI we're improving at the minute. This is our test site, which will be made live as of next week. So in the area, we've added additional abilities to filter the documents by area, owner, status, and file type that will help to streamline when you're looking for documents. And we've also changed the folder setting to make it a little bit nicer to look at as well.
Yeah, so some really good features there, wasn't it? And also the governance too. I think it was one of the improvements from our customers to make sure that they've got access over all their documents in one central location, isn't it? I think that was some of the feedback we had. No, so really, really great. So moving on, what we will do then is move next into the registers feature, and I'll show you a little bit about that. So we'll just load up the home page now and go over to the registers hub section. So we've got a few sample registers, but we'll concentrate on the approved supplier register, how that works and what that looks like. So most people, when it comes to supplier management or quarantine or non-conformance management, are using spreadsheets. So what does a register do that helps people get away from spreadsheets and helps automate these functions? So the register hub, you can see, looks very much like a spreadsheet at first glance, but each of these columns is a customizable column to make sure that you input data in the right way every time, all the time. So I'll show you how to do that if we go into edit mode. And we'll just slide along and add a new column. So what you can see is that that's now added a column onto the end. So if we click the column title section, we can give that column a name. So let's say, for example, we want that to be a comments field. We'll just call it comments. Now by clicking the little gray dot, that opens up our field types. So as you can see, depending on the info that you want to record, you select your field type, and that makes sure that all of your users or account holders always put the right data in every time. So again, that helps with making sure your data is going in right, which means it comes out right, which we know is a big problem. So here you can see you've got text fields, date fields, time, signatures. The stock button is a really awesome function which helps you to allocate stock, and that way if you reduce stock quantities elsewhere in the app, it will automatically reduce in the register. So that's something new that's also being added to integrate that with some of the field functions in our forms and processes. Lots of other different fields. You've got like your standard tick box and drop box options, and data sets also featured in there, which is handy. So it's a comments area, so we'll just click text area, and you'll see then that's added add text options here. And if we click onto that, you can see that we can add information here. So maybe I'll be with this supplier, and you can add comments as you wish and go down that. Now, once you've populated your register with all your columns and fields as required, you can then go to the automations function. So what you can see, we've got a couple of automations already set up. So what we're saying is, based on the expiry date field, is that two actions are going to happen. So when the expiry date is today, or when that date comes up, when the item will be expired, then we want two things to happen. One, send a task, which is a new supplier certificate task to identify that, well, your supplier is now expired. And we also want to change the status of that item to certificate has expired. Now, what we could do is we could add another automation. So maybe we want somebody to be notified. So we could say, well, we also want to send a notification to Bob, because maybe Bob's the head of supply chain or supply chain manager. And when he gets that notification, we want him to be told supplier unapproved. So what that'll do is notify him every time that that certificate becomes expired, and he'll put that in his workflow. So another automation we've got here is the certificate approval. So we're saying that when the ISO cert is changed, it will send a form, which is an approval test. So how does that work? Well, let's test that one out in practice. So what we'll do is we'll add a new supplier. So you'll see our new supplier is already given an automatic prefix, SP9. It might be Bob's Metals. Give him his name. We'll add details for his address, so we won't go into the details of that now. What we want to do is give him an expiry date. So let's say his expires on the 31st of March. Now remember, the automation we set up was that when we add files, it's going to send a task to require supplier approval to be carried out. So let's do that. We'll add his certificate. So let's say we've had his certificate come in. We'll do that here. upload that, click done. And now you can see down the left, it's saying certificate approval is about to execute. So that automation that we set up, because we've added that file, it's automatically going to send that task to the right person to get them to fill out the supplier approval process. And we can see that in Bob's workflow here under my tasks. And you'll see that he's now got a fill out form for an approval test. So let's pick this one here, SP2 Manchester Honing. So we can see their due date is 14th of April. So if we change that just to today's date so we can see how that works, we'll click that. You'll see what happens is a little notification coming up to say that that's about to execute. So why that's useful is in case we change something by accident on the register, we can simply cancel that. But of course, normally this would be happening in the background. And what you can see is the status has automatically changed to cert expired. And obviously, if we had another few automations like send a form to the supplier whenever that expires to get them to submit their new certificates, or maybe send a notification to the purchasing manager so they're aware the supplier can no longer be used. All of that would happen in the background at any time of day automatically to save you any work that you're currently carrying out on spreadsheets. So that's a little bit of an overview. Obviously, there's loads and loads of actions and automations that we could go through, but we just don't have time today. But if you would like to find out more, then do get in touch.
Okay, thanks, Ewan. I'm just going to take everyone through the Workspace feature that we'll have live on the application in the next week or so as well. So the idea of the Workspace is to be able to create different areas that multiple people in the application can gain access to help organize and bring the different features in the hubs like forms and processes and documents into one place. So we'll just take you through an example of a quality department workspace. So each workspace has a dashboard that can be custom built by the workspace owner. So in this example, we've created it more like a notice board for the quality department. But the great thing about workspaces is that if you imagine you have a screen on your shop floor or a screen in the office that is a shared resource that people use to keep an eye on activities, you could create a dashboard and display it here as well. So through the dashboard, you're able to create shortcuts that will open up forms or start processes, and also drag KPIs into it as well from the KPI hub, which will give you live data on anyone using the application as well. So to edit the dashboard is really simple. Just click the edit button. You can move and drag things around and resize the different components as well. And we'll be continually adding more and more useful features to the dashboard as well. So for each workspace, we've got dashboard and folders. The folders is like a file structure that you can create that links to the rest of the application. So for example, in this one, we have a process and a dashboard linked inside of it. But if we wanted to, we could create a link to a web page that we wanted to, or also we've got links to assets. So any documents or maintenance schedules that you've got, you can bring anything in the application in one place. I'll just show you another quick example of how this might work as well. If you've got a risk workspace, it's really great for being able to highlight things that are an issue at the minute to your business in a place where they can add more forms or processes to raise any injuries or reports in one go. So by clicking that, we can go straight to the accident process and start filling it out, or go back to the workspace itself.
So yeah, thanks, Ethan. That was really good. So lots of exciting opportunities for companies to use the Workspace as soon as that's launched. So what's coming soon?
In the next couple of weeks, we'll be improving the hub connectivity. So what that means is in the register hub that we were looking at today and the form and process hub, it's giving it the ability to be able to create a form. So say, for example, it might be a tooling form that your operators on the shop floor might be using, and they may want to take out some consumables or even some drill bits, whatever they're using. And by linking the form to the register, we'll be able to select the stock quantity or add an item to the register. So if we think about at work how often we may have to fill a form out and then update a register, or be a part of a process and then go and update the register as to where we are with it, all of that will be looked after automatically by connecting the hubs up together, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I think we were talking about, from like non-conformance processes as well. If you're going to put an item into quarantine or even raise a concession request, sometimes we still have to, like you said, log the concession on the concession register, go and log it on the quarantine register. But all of this can happen automatically when you're involved in the NCR process.
Yeah, exactly. So we also have the portal hub that's going to be coming as well. So after talking to a few customers and getting a bit of feedback off different people as well, the ability to be able to share a process or a form or even just some documents with external users. So this might be suppliers or even your customers, or you could even use it if, for example, you've got quite a big operator or shop floor population and they don't all have dedicated work emails. We can just set them up with usernames and passwords. It will basically look very similar to the Workspace feature that we were showing. So you'll have a little dashboard that the admin will be able to create, which you can organize different links to the application. So if it's a shop floor dashboard, you might have a tooling request form, a health and safety form. And if it's to a supplier, you might create a workspace that has a supplier management form or a contract review process that you can share to multiple suppliers, or even create a workspace for each company that you've got as a supplier as well. So along with that, we'll bring the ability to share process steps to external users as well, which is going to be really great for, when we think about things like 8D processes that might have to be approved back and forth from a customer or from a supplier. We'll be able to send that all within the process, and they'll get an email and open up the process hub automatically as well.
So we've already got the audit hub launched. Within it, you can build your own audit templates and schedule audits, and you also get a predefined audit dashboard. But some of the improvements we're bringing out is now to be able to create checklists or audits in the form hub, integrate those into audit hub, which allows you, if you like, more checklist type audits to embed those. And then also with the Gantt chart, which I think Ethan's going to come on to in a little bit, just to allow, we're all used to those Gantt charts and scheduling our audits in a certain way. So we want to make sure we incorporate that in the software so that we're not sort of taking you too far down the road, but we're going to accommodate how we're used to working, but just make sure it's more automated and more easy and user-friendly as well.
Yeah, so the Gantt chart component is taking us a little while to create, because we want to make sure that it's something that can be used at multiple places throughout the application. So for example, in a project view, we'll be able to see our tasks in that standard view that we're used to looking at, but also things like being able to send a task to someone and check when they've got tasks that are already due in that sort of mini Gantt chart component as well. And like you were talking about Audit Hub, it'll definitely be used in Audit Hub so that we can see a Gantt style schedule of all of our audits and how long they expect to take as well. Okay, so thanks everyone for watching. We'll be releasing more of these sort of sessions every month or every other month, just keeping you up to date with the application and trying to get some more people in, like we did with Keith, to be as informative and helpful to you guys as possible as well.
Yeah, thanks everyone, and we'll catch you in the next session. Look forward to it.